Good evening guys, welcome to Lost Phoenix Gaming. I'm back on Fortnite because you may see my video saying that the Cube Island is making its way out of Loot Lake and heading towards Tilted Towers, although I did say it wasn't going to hit Tilted Towers, but it might do some damage. Turns out it hasn't. It hasn't done any damage. A whirlpool around the floating island is pretty harmless, but it is heading where I thought it was. It's my theory that this floating island will be retracing its steps around all of the Rune sites in reverse. Rune number 8 was there briefly on Loot Lake, and that's where it stayed. Rune 7 is just past Pleasant Park, and that's where it was on its way to when I last had a look in on it. And I went in last night, somewhere around 9 o'clock UK time, and this is what I saw. I've got the floating island not that far away from the Rune, so not quite there yet. I'm expecting one more iteration in its movement before whatever happens at this location happens. So I built up a platform, parked it up a little bit and kept a lookout, and this is what happened. That was quick. That's not an edit, by the way. This is actually unedited. You can see by the countdown clock on the screen, because I'm in playground mode. That was not edited. That was literally a frame jump within the game. One moment it was all fine, no particular problems. The island's floating there. The next, the Rune area is actually raised up, and there seems to be a vortex underneath it, as well as small little vortexes or cracks around. So that was a bit of a sloppy animation really. One frame wasn't there, next frame it was. I'm still expecting the island to move one more time and then do whatever it needs to do at this location, but this gives me an opportunity to head down and have a look. You can see how high I actually did climb on the map. Oh my god, the craters are actually bounce pads. They're bouncy, and they've got some power to them as well. Okay, so I'm on the vortex. I'm actually standing on the vortex. What the hell? I was expecting to fall down into that and be catapulted back up, much in the same way that you are when you go to the vortex at Loot Lake. Actually, I'm happy. You can have a bit of fun with that. A bit of jubilation. Throw some tomatoes around. You know, they get bored. So that's actually really interesting. So the vortex is open, but for a moment you can actually stand on it. I suspect that's going to change as the cube does its work. I'm having a go at landing on the floating rock because I'm not quite inside the eye of the vortex, the eye of the storm, so I may be able to actually land on it. It's quite difficult because, as you can see, we've been buffeted around one way to the other and everything. So I'm back on that platform. It's definitely not changed. The vortex is pretty solid at the moment. It's pretty trippy. Kevin doesn't like me shooting at him. He sort of takes it personally and gives me a little zap. Not to worry. Nothing I can't survive. But this is really, really odd, because the vortex you expect to actually be thrown straight back out of, but you're still standing just on a flat surface. It's like you're walking on glass. It's like one of those glass bottom boats you have on holiday. The lighting effects are cool. A quick jump on the crater gives me a bit of a better view. What I want to do is I want to get up on top of it. I want to have a look. I just want to see if there's anything going on actually around my house. So, rift to go in my pocket, always useful. Doesn't appear to be a lot going on up here, to be honest. Seems pretty calm. It seems all of the turbulence and all of the disruption is actually below. So what I'll do is I'll head back up on my platform and just take a wider look at the situation. Because I suspected this was going to happen. And in fact, is some evidence that I do have proves that this will be going around all of the rune sites and will be producing a similar disturbance with the floating runes. I'll add this to the end of the video, but it's something which I saw on a message board yesterday. I thought I'll give it a try, so I did, and it does look quite compelling, especially because I had a look at it and I recorded the footage before any of this has happened. So this has not happened, and this lines up perfectly with what I saw. So what do you guys think about this one? Is this going to be a vortex the same as at Loot Lake? Maybe because I've sort of got in on this and I'm here before the action's complete, as it were. Am I seeing an earlier version? If I come on tomorrow, is this going to be different? What do you guys think about this one? And also, do you agree with me that Kevin, the Cube Island, is going to be floating around all of the different rune sites and creating similar areas to us? Let me know in the comments, because at the moment all theories are valid, but it does look like I'm somewhere along the right track so far with what I was thinking. So a quick cut, I go back into the game and just see what I can do around this floating rune rock. Can I actually get onto it? What can I do? Well, I'll give it a try and see what happens, because I'm bound to be able to get onto this somehow, particularly as you can see the main disturbance of the whirlwind is not over the vortex, it's not over the rock yet. Again, it's solid. Obviously I did manage to get onto it, and I did have a few problems with the recordings because Fortnite's been crashing and it's not been so good, but I did manage to get onto it yesterday. But cut to this morning, so this is Monday morning, somewhere I like to say around about 7 o'clock, up at 7. And the island's moved. It's actually lined up now with the rune stone and with the vortex. so you can see what it looks like. You can see what it looks like from the higher view up on the platform. But if I go down and have a look and see what we've actually got down there, see what we can do, because lightning's coming out of the cube. This is zapping this. This is proper zapping it. So I'm coming up to the portal area, the vortex, and I can't even stand on it. You can see as soon as I get near it, I just start flying up. However, today I can land on the stone. Kevin's up there going absolutely mental, zapping everything around him. Pick up a few weapons, not that I really need them, this is playground mode, but a chug jug or two isn't going to go amiss, particularly as Kevin is a bit zap happy today. So I'm actually on the floating Rune stone. That's a crazy view, that is. Kevin just going just mad, zapping lightning bolts out everywhere, glowing runes flashing on and off. This is crazy. Whatever's happening here is happening. It'd be interesting to see if there's anything else going on, or whether it just leaves the floating stones and moves on to the next location. The vortex is pretty strong, so it's pulling me up towards the top of the island. Although I don't really want to go there, to be honest with you. There's not a lot happening before. I want to go back down here. I want to have a look at the rune stone. I want to see what's going on. Although it doesn't appear that the lightning is actually hitting the rune stone, it appears that the lightning is actually going down into the vortex. Having a little dance, a dance to the cube god Kevin. So what do you guys think about this? This is absolutely crazy. Like, not only did we think that, yes, there won't be a lot going on with the cube, suddenly it is. And if I go back up to my platform, you can see this in full swing, doing whatever the hell it's doing down there. But no, this is good. This is actually really good, really exciting times, and I've noticed a lot recently that final circles have been forming around this area, which certainly makes for interesting gameplay. I did say that I know that Kevin the Cube Island is going to be going around every single location where there's a rune. The corrupted zones, I believe Fortnite like to call them. And I know that they'll be going around there. And this is why I know. It's not just logic that if you're going to create runes, you're going to be going around in reverse, retracing your steps, because whatever Kevin's final game plan is, we don't know yet. But this is the reason why. I read on the message board that there are telltale signs, much in the same way that when the runes were being formed, if you put your graphics down to potato settings, to the lowest you can, and then go and have a look around the map, you'll see discoloured or slightly out of the ordinary looking bits of earth, and that's where the runes would go. And it turns out that was actually quite accurate. And I read that much the same is true around these rune sites now. So I went into Fortnite on my PC, on my Stone Age PC, and decided to knock the settings down. You can see my settings there, which aren't amazing, but I've knocked them down all the way to low and to see what I can see. What I do is I set the screen resolution right the way down. Everything's on super low, and you can see why it turns everything into practically a black and white mess. But this is actually the good thing, because if you have a walk around these rune sites, and bear in mind, this is the rune site near Pleasant Park. This is the site where you have just seen the rune floating up in the air with the cube island zapping it with lightning and a vortex. And oh look, what do we see? Oh look, we see this big line like a cutout going all the way around it. Exactly where this rune stone has risen up and is now floating. Spooky, eh? But no, I'm thinking, hang on a minute. This is here. I'm going to go check out the other sites. So go and check out a couple other sites as well, because we already know at this point, watching this video, that this rune is now floating, but I didn't know this when I recorded this, because this was recorded prior to the event, obviously. So I head off and I have a look at another rune site. And as I'm going around picking up a few goodies, and as you can see, oh look, there's this line again, all the way round the perimeter of the rune. So I'm expecting this to be zapped and to rise up much in the same way as it was at the Pleasant Park rune site. Obviously this is the one at Lazy Links. And I will be checking out the Wailing Woods one, although I'm not going to go around all of them, because I think at the moment we've got two, both with the lines round, and we do know that one has since popped up. So if we head over from Lazy Links in the golf cart and get ourselves down to Wailing Woods. As you can see, it's not great graphics, but this is what I need for this. Totally unplayable in normal circumstances. But oh look, there's a line all the way round the rune. And I suspect if I go to every other rune location on the map, I will see exactly the same. But we're 3 for 3 at the moment, and given that I was trusting this, and also given that with hindsight we do know that this is the area in which one rune so far is now floating in the air, I'm not that far from mark with what will be happening with the cube and with the floating island. Epic may pull a blinder and actually just keep the cube island at Pleasant Park, and everything else just pops up because of the shockwaves going through the map. But I don't think they'll do that. They like to put on a show. I think old Kevin will be moving. He'll be having a nice meandering journey around the map, hacking up the cube sites, much in the same way he did when he was placing the runes. So that's interesting. Another interesting I did notice, but I've not put in this video, that if you go onto the island and you go around the cave area, where there's normally a chest, there's actually purple rune type rocks. And they are rocks. They are not part of the cube. They don't react, they don't bounce. You can shoot the hell out of them and nothing happens, which certainly ties in with something I have seen, that data miners have found references in the files to a code string relating to cube growth So I'm certainly expecting Kevin the Cube to get bigger, and the rocks around the cube and around the island are actually going to become more cube-like. And whatever the end game of this is, we don't know yet, but we'll all have to wait and see. So I'll leave you guys with that. If you've got anything to say about my theory or anything, or let me know your own, let me know in the comments. If you want to keep up to date with what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified when I put new videos on. So until next time, guys, thanks for watching, take it easy, and happy house hunting, I guess.